Good evening, I'm Max Cryer. Welcome to On the Mat. Barry Holland couldn't be with us tonight, but with me is Mr. Wrestling himself, Steve Rickard, who, I believe, has a World Tag Team Championship match coming up soon. Tell us, Steve.
Yes, Max, Mark, Lewin and myself have the opportunity of wrestling for the World Tag Team Championship against the holders, the Mongolians.
That's going to be an exciting occasion.
Will be, and hopefully we can take the title.
Well, we wish you luck, Steve. In the meantime, there's another popular name in wrestling that we're going to be seeing soon from Samoa, the fire dance man, Siva. He's returning to New Zealand, isn't he?
He is returning to New Zealand. I saw Siva recently in Hawaii. Of course, he's wrestled all over the world since he left here some 4 years ago.
Before that, before he left with the status that he has now, he was always a protege of yours, wasn't he?
Yes, Siva was my protege. I started him off, I taught him wrestling, and of course, but the big chance he got was overseas, where he got all the experience in the world.
They're still very proud of him in Samoa, though.
Well, they're so proud of Siva that they gave him recognition as a Matai, and he earned it himself. He's gone to the top all the way, and from what we saw him here in New Zealand 4 years ago, and finally he was selected to wrestle the World Heavyweight Champion in New Zealand, and because of other commitments, couldn't make it.
What we're going to see tonight is a match he had with Jock Ruddock. So now we'll take a look at that match, which screened some 4 years ago. He fought very well then, and he's come a long way since.
Okay, and the next bout on the evening's card. This is the second event, and it's between Siva Togaga and Jock Ruddock. There's two very clever wrestlers, and as usual, Jock Ruddock is in the ring first. Siva getting in now. Jock Ruddock, known as one of the great escapologists of wrestling. They're around about the same weight, these fellows. If anything, perhaps Siva is a little heavier, but not that much. Very sportsmanlike greeting in the ring there. We've only seen these two wrestle once before, and it was just prior to the telethon last year in Hamilton, when On the Mat went to Hamilton, and they turned on for a very full Founders Theatre there. At that time, a fantastic wrestling match. We got a lot of letters about it, and this is the second time they've met since then, and there's no reason to feel that we're going to have a bad one, because we are certainly looking forward to a good one, and we should get one, shouldn't we, Steve?
Yes, and we should see some fine wrestling in this match. Siva, a little heavier than Jock. Both fine wrestlers. Right away, Siva takes it first, Jock throws it across the field, holds on. But again, coming to his feet, steps across nicely to break that move and to counter it. Siva again comes back, switches, holds on to the wrist, and again has Jock on the receiver. Just a nice scale by Jock Ruddock. He actually came up and stood on Siva's thigh to step right across the top and come out down to the move. But again, Siva's in there holding on to the wrist, thinking a little bit ahead and showing that he can also get down and wrestle the classic style of wrestling with wrestlers such as Jock Ruddock. You actually see Jock thinking here, trying to think extra two moves. Spins around the ring there and Siva let go. Oh, Siva right on there. Jock came up to his feet, Siva again, ready to take an arm as he was coming in to take him over in an arm drag.
Yeah, Siva was slightly confused with that very quick move that Jock made, Steve Rickard.
I think he was confused, but he was wise enough to let the move go and then turn around and say, well, I'll catch him as he comes out of this, and he did. There's Jock now, countering again with a head that he looks if he may try and drive Siva's head away. No, he's going right up with that top rope. Oh, that's the counter. I was waiting for him to do that right from the start, but he obviously took it a different move, going right to the top rope and then dropping down under it. Clever wrestling. See, we're feeling the effects of that as Jock came across, holding on to the head, spins him over, takes a side headlock, going in for the just like a bulldog move. He throws his feet on that top rope, he gains support, pushing himself over to drive Siva to the mat. Siva again comes out with another counter, grabbing hold of that head scissors to counter Jock's side headlock. But you'll notice he comes back, got the opportunity to snatched that wrist again, and he again comes back into the same position as he started this match with, holding on to that wrist, applying the pressure. Good thinking for a wrestler is to work on the part where you, as much as possible, try and weaken that particular part of the body. But Jock takes Siva up into an aeroplane spin position, fired up, and he takes him over to the mat. Again, Siva holds on to that wrist, pulling Jock over as he counters the move.
These two giving referee Chris Miller an easy job. No problems at all. He's just got to get in there and watch what's going on. There's some good wrestling going on here. Hasn't had to give a warning so far at all, and probably should not have to during the whole match. Some very good wrestling coming from these two very fine and fit wrestlers.
Nice move by Jock. He spun Siva around to come in. Knee lift, followed by another one. That drop kick by Jock, seldom seen. A very good drop kick, landing on the chest of Siva Afi.
The sort of thing that we'd expect from Siva Afi himself. Drop kicks, a very, very good drop kick this moment.
You not expect that as Jock actually came down across the back and Siva would have dropped there. There's a nice sunset flip move here. Count of two, and no, then Siva comes up, comes into a bridge over the top of Jock, and there's a count of three and a shoulder over. Siva was just one move ahead of Jock on that. Jock went for that sunset flip pinning position, but Siva come out on top to counter that move with a reverse flip and to hold the shoulders of Jock to the mat for a count of three, and the match goes to Siva Afi.
That was Siva Afi some years ago, putting up a very impressive match there against Jock Ruddock, but it was some years ago. I gather he's developed a lot since then.
He's developed tremendously, Max. He's gone so far that he's, well, as I say today, he's in world class.
So when we see him in New Zealand, he'll be a far more mature wrestler than he was in those early days.
Mature and also a lot bigger and stronger man.
You mentioned that the Samoans had given him the rank Matai, which is a word I don't know. Is that an aristocratic chieftainship, is it?
Yes, it is, yeah. And he was given that rank because of his greatness in the rest of the world.
Well, we'll be seeing him in New Zealand, and Siva Afi wrestled so well the year we just saw that he fought a match with the then world champion Harley Race, and Ernie Leonard and Steve Rickard were there to introduce that one.
So the young Siva Afi Taogaga gets one of the biggest chances of his career. He's actually going to be seen here wrestling the world heavyweight champion Harley Race.
Wow, well that's really something.
I must tell you, this is not a title match, though, of course, but it is. It's a great honour for anyone to go in against a world champion.
What a wonderful opportunity for him. You know, I think he's really earned it because his wrestling over the last 12 months has improved tremendously. He's up against a very tough man, we know that. It's got to be a tough man to be the world champion.
Well, Race is one of the greatest champions of all time, and so I think Siva is in there to really up against something. He's certainly going to get a lot of experience, and who knows, maybe he'll come out with his hand raised.
All right.
Siva Afi Taogaga, there it is, the prize of wrestling, the biggest prize in wrestling, the World Heavyweight Championship belt. Harley Race wears it proudly. Harley Race, a brilliant moving of the world champion. Siva not quite sure, but Siva comes off there with a lovely hip toss, picks Race up for a high body slam, then goes down for a cover, looking for a count here, with the count of one, and Race is up.
Taogaga starting very, very well indeed.
Siva holding on to that side headlock. Race rolls Taogaga onto his shoulders, looking for a fall. Another two by referee Miller, and Taogaga throws himself back over, holding tightly on that headlock.
The sheer strength of the world champion can roll the Samoan lad right back onto his shoulders, but at each occasion, Siva Afi Taogaga has been able to get back into balance and keep that headlock on the world champion Harley Race.
Siva holding on to that headlock. And against the best in the world, an opportunity for such a young wrestler. Harley Race takes Siva high. Siva's once again holding on to that headlock to take Harley over onto his shoulders. Referee counted 1 and Race forces himself off. He takes Siva around the waist to force his shoulders to the mat. The count of 2. Siva's just holding on to that headlock, trying to keep the upper hand during this match. With 4 minutes remaining.
Taragaga showing a lot of confidence in here. He's not overawed by the fact that he is in the ring with the world champion. He knows that the world champion is a tremendous wrestler, and there's proof of it. There's proof of it. Siva Taragaga quite dazed by that sudden move of the Harley Race. And the Harley Race driving his knee into the shoulder of Siva Taragaga. And there it goes again. Onto the forehead this time.
Harley Race knows all the moves of his trade. Looking for a suplex move here to take Siva over. Getting himself set. Very cunning wrestler. Takes it, suplex beautifully. Comes over looking for the cover. Count of 3. Taragaga throws off.
There's still a little bit of life left in the Samoan boy. He managed to throw Harley Race off. A bit of thumb work here went in by Harley Race there. Well, he's back to the referee, but referee Chris Miller saw that one. He's warned Harley Race.
Race throwing Taragaga across the ring, and Taragaga switches the thing to throw Race into the corner and driving fist after fist into the stomach of Race. Now he throws him again. He goes up, looking for a drop kick, but Race, the cunning wrestler Race is the very clever Race, moves out of the way. Siva comes down onto his back, and Harley Race driving the knee into the forehead of Siva Taragaga. Taragaga looking in trouble. Race picks him up, looking for a favourite move, a suplex move. He takes him high above his head.
Here's a pile driver. Is it going to be a pile driver? No, it is not.
Suplex by Race. Race takes him over for that very high suplex, looking for the count, and the count of 3, Harley Race, world heavyweight champion, the winner of this match. Too experienced for Siva Api. But Siva Api in there, not giving up any part of the match, trying all the way, but the experience of a fine champion wins out.
Siva Api doing well against Harley Race, who was the then world champion. Well, recently, Steve Rickard spoke to Siva Api in Hawaii. Siva was disappointed at not being able to meet Ric Flair here in New Zealand, but he is looking forward to coming back to New Zealand very soon.
Well, you see, Steve, I start from New Zealand. I start from you, and I'm very eager to go back to New Zealand. Well, I turned down something that I always dream about, and I always wanted that one day I come against a world champion. It's my big ambition, like everyone else.
Well, that is the shot. Like to hold that title in our wrestling world, to hold the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship is the same as a boxer wants to hold the World Heavyweight Boxing Championship and any other world champion. I'm quite sure that you, the one great Samoan that we all knew, of course, was a great friend of all of us, and it was Peter Maivia. And Peter, of course, came close to taking that title from Harley Race. He never got the opportunity to wrestle Ric Flair, unfortunately. However, you yourself are going to take over where Peter left off, and you're going to try and take that title back at some time. And I only hope you do get another opportunity.
Well, see, you and Peter were showing me everything and helped me on my career. And whatever Peter left, I'll try my best to take over from there. And who knows, maybe one day there will be a Samoan world champion.
I certainly hope so, Siva, and we look forward to seeing you back in New Zealand.
That was Siva Api with Steve Rickard in Hawaii. We'll be back after this break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at part of their recent World Championship match between Ric Flair and Mark Lewin. See you then. Welcome back to On the Mat. A few moments ago, we saw Steve Rickard with Siva Api in Hawaii, but Steve, I believe you say that we couldn't see his full development in that short interview, but he's a much bigger man now than he was then.
Well, he's a much bigger man, Max, and also I think like we saw his match with Harley Race, Siva has since then reversed that decision and defeated Harley Race. Not only that, he also fought his way to the top, defeating most world contenders.
Well, speaking of world contenders, I wasn't able to be present at the championship match between Ric Flair and Mark Lewin, but you were there, were you not?
I was certainly there.
An exciting night.
And one of the greatest matches that you could ever wish to see. The thing about the match was the controversial ending to the match. The rule over the top rope, which is not applied in New Zealand, but must apply to World Championship Wrestling. And through that rule, Mark Lewin, although he had the belt in his hands, he lost it.
Well, here now is that match, and as Steve said, you watch for the controversial end. We'll take up the action about midway through the fight.
2 minutes into round 6 in this World Heavyweight Championship match. The world champion Ric Flair outside the ring, the challenger Mark Lewin inside the ring. Mark Lewin right on top of this match. He threw Ric Flair through the ropes. Ric Flair is still outside the ropes. The crowd going absolutely wild. There's been almost a 50-50 support for both wrestlers, but over the last 2 or 3 rounds, the support has switched to Mark Lewin. Very early in the bout, Ric Flair right on top, working on the left leg of Mark Lewin, and I thought at that stage that Mark Lewin wouldn't come back, but he's recovered, he's come back, he has the world champion at his mercy outside the ring, the account being applied to Ric Flair at this stage. Is he going to get back into the ring and complete this match? Mark Lewin raring to go, the crowd with him, there he comes, back onto the apron. Oh, Lewin's put his head right into the corner post, and Ric Flair very, very groggy indeed, still outside the ring. Oh, he's bleeding at the head. He's come back, and my word, he's not happy at all about the treatment that Lewin meted out to them. There they are in the center of the ring now, both punching it. Down goes Flair. Lewin going in, got him by the hair. Flair in bad condition. He's bleeding very, very strongly from the head. You can see the stain on his hair, and Lewin punching that wound of Ric Flair. And it certainly looks as though Ric Flair is in real trouble. At this stage, Ric Flair is 1 fall up in a 3-fall match. He's stunned. Lewin has him in mercy. Here's the sleeper. He has the sleeper on. Will Flair be able to get out of this one? Lewin with his favourite hold, the sleeper. Flair going down. Can he reach the ropes to try and get out of this hold? Lewin holding it back. He's reaching for the ropes. He can't quite make it. Lewin holding it back. He can't hold the ropes. He cannot get the ropes. He's going. It looks as though Lewin has got the hold. The crowd going absolutely mad. Referee holding Flair's arm up. There it is, quite limp. Falls for the bell. There's a fall to Mark Lewin. And so Mark Lewin equalises. Ric Flair 1 fall. Mark Lewin 1 fall in this, the end of the 6th round, in a best of 3 falls World Championship match. The world champion Ric Flair, the challenger Mark Lewin. Well, that's the end of the round. Well, Mark Lewin really has come back very, very well indeed. Here he is. He's bringing Ric Flair out of the sleeper hold with a familiar slap on the back. That's it. Flair looks to be recovering. Yes, indeed, he does. And he thinks he's still wrestling, of course. Didn't hear the bell while he was out. The referee trying to part them, trying to get him back in his corner. So Ric Flair bleeding rather heavily from the head. Oh, Mark Lewin's hit him. This is between rounds. He's been warned. He must hold off until the start of the 7th round. Well, he's kicked him on the head. This is not like Mark Lewin. Mark Lewin is known to us as a sporting wrestler. There goes the bell for round 7. Round 7, and Mark Lewin really on top. And Ric Flair, with all the experience that he has, it's made him world champion, whipping the feet out, whipping the feet of Mark Lewin out from underneath him, and now giving Mark Lewin a bit of the treatment. But Mark Lewin coming back. There he goes. Onto the ropes. There we over the sleeper again. Crowd going absolutely wild. Oh, Well, Ric Flair came in with a hard elbow to the midsection of Mark Lewin, and Mark Lewin really felt that. It's given Ric Flair a little bit of time coming to his feet now, because my word, he looks as though he's going to get the sleeper again, and it wouldn't have taken too much to put Ric Flair out, but there it is, a timely elbow to the midriff of Mark Lewin has given him time to recover. They're both pretty groggy. They're in round 7, both pretty groggy. Oh! Well, that was a sneaky one from Mark Lewin. Very sneaky one. Oh, and Flair's thrown a punch which missed by miles, and Lewin retaliated with a short right to the jaw. And down goes Flair again. Well, I wonder just how much punishment Flair can take. Oh, he's tried an eye rake, and my word, he's got him too. Oh, over the top. He hit the referee, and out. Jack Kendall is out of the ring. Jack Kendall is out of the ring, stunned. Mark Lewin has Flair up over his head. He's pinned him. There's no referee in there to count. No referee in there to count. Lewin looking over the ropes, coming back to Flair, chopping him on the head. Flair chops him to the eyes. Both two very tired men. Oh, and Flair's out. Flair's out of the ring. Flair's out of the ring. Jack Kendall coming back into the ring. Here we go. Mark Lewin has him by the trunks. Over he goes. A suplex. And down he goes. And my word, I think that's the end of Ric Flair. There it is. 1, 2, 3. And Mark Lewin is the winner and becomes the world champion. Mark Lewin, the winner, becomes the world champion. Absolutely jubilant scenes here at the YMCA in Auckland. Mark Lewin holding the belt high. Mark Lewin, the winner. My word, there's a consultation of referees. Let's have a look at this. There's a consultation of referees. One of the referees is telling Mark Lewin that he is not the champion. He has indicated that Mark Lewin threw Ric Flair, that's it, threw him over the top of the ring. Those are the championship rules. He threw him over the top rope, and so he has been disqualified. There's the announcement. There's scenes of confusion here. Mark Lewin has been disqualified. Well, you heard the announcement. The crowd do not like it. Mark Lewin has been disqualified. Ric Flair is still the world champion. Well, what hard luck for Mark Lewin. He is not happy at all. He's shaking his head, waving his arms about. He feels he's the world champion, but that is right. He did throw Ric Flair over the top rope, and so he does. Oh, he's taken the world championship belt. He's taken off right through the crowd. Well, that is not going to do him any good. He does not win the championship. He does not win it. Ric Flair is still the world champion, and that's the result. That's the result. It doesn't matter how disappointed the crowd is. Lewin has been disqualified for throwing Ric Flair over the top rope. So Ric Flair still the world champion.
Great match, and certainly a controversial ending.
It was certainly a controversy ending, Max, and also we have another ending to the on the mat, and that is the association with Ernie Leonard, a great man, a great friend of ours, and after 8 years, Ernie is departing as producer to On the Mat, and I personally, I'm sure you do, and everyone else, wishes him all the very best of luck.
We'll miss him. I'll add my voice to yours, Stephen, say that Ernie Leonard may be going from On the Mat, but he certainly won't be forgotten. Well, that's On the Mat for tonight, and tickets for Friday's recording this week are available at our Shortland Street reception, but do hurry because there's a limited number available only. Barry Holland will be back with you next week, so be sure to join him on the Mat. Good night.
Thank you.